The Honourable Kyle McGinn.
Thank you, President, and I thank the Honourable Dan Caddy for bringing the motion to the House today. Very timely and very good motion for us to be discussing in this chamber. I want to touch on a quick point from the Honourable Brian Walker and in regards to boxing. And PCYC's done a fabulous job on bringing discipline and respect into that space. I think everyone that's lived in a regional area would understand going to boxing training at a PCYC and seeing the older people training and the respect that the younger people have by being able to discipline themselves into that sport. I would say, though, that I think the world is changing, and basketball seems to be the new boxing, especially not for me, though. I'll be honest, I can't hit a three-pointer to save my life.
Because of your height?
Yeah, definitely the height issue, Sam. Honourable Sam Rowe. Look, what I do want to touch on is I'm a huge supporter of the PCYCs. I think they are absolute amazing organisations that have been well supported by this government, and some of the things that I've seen since 2017 coming into this place I think need to be touched on. First one is the Carnarvon PCYC. When I first went out to visit the Carnarvon PCYC, we were looking at delivering an election commitment on upgrading the PCYC, and when I got there it was like the building had been there for over 50 years. And you walk inside and all the fans had been bent up. There was one of the old school skating rinks. But one of the real big disadvantages for Carnarvon was that the PCYC was out of town. It was right at the entry to Carnarvon, which would have been a good half an hour to 40-minute walk for the kids from in Carnarvon to head out there. And that was causing havoc. The police in their time at night time after 6 p.m. would be driving around town, picking up the kids and taking them out to the organisation. But when you got there, there would be over 100 kids at the PCYC, absolutely running amok, but having a ball in a very safe space. And that's the key here. The PCYCs create a safe space for at-risk youth, and the people that work at them, the volunteers and particularly the youth police officers, put in such an amazing job, go above and beyond. The Carnarvon youth police officers and volunteers at the PCYC should be commended for what they've achieved. Without the PCYC, we would have seen displaced youth far further across the Carnarvon area. But what we've managed to achieve as the McGowan government is over $1 million has been spent on a new facility for a new PCYC at the old school facility in Carnarvon, which is right in the centre of Carnarvon. And this facility has a proper basketball court. The basketball court at the old PCYC, the roof was too low, so when you throw the basketball too high, it would hit the roof and ruin the game. But the new PCYC has a fabulous basketball court. There's a football field just outside it. There's a kitchen. There's a new gym that's being put in there. There's some amazing resources that will be available for the kids of Carnarvon. I know this has been heavily supported by the local council, heavily supported by the police, heavily supported by PCYC, and especially heavily supported by the McGowan government. I cannot wait in September to see this officially opened, and the kids of Carnarvon will have more convenient space to go to, and I know that this will go a long way into creating something that they'll be able to sink their teeth into night after night and keep them entertained. I do want to give a shout out to the Kalgoorlie PCYC as well. They have done an amazing job since 2017 when I came in and started working with the organisation. Again, the youth police officers that were involved were going above and beyond. They were constantly out on the street with the kids. They knew the kids by first name. One of these great ideas from one of the young coppers was to get hold of a DJ set. Similar to your blue light disco situation. However, they'd do it out in the parks and they would do it at the skate park. So what happened was kids would end up being DJs and they'd be blasting music out, which would attract more kids. And that was probably one of the best investments I've made from an electorate perspective, was to donate that across to the PCYC. And then when that youth copper moved out to Warburton, I got a letter saying, oh, how about Warburton gets one as well. But it wasn't cheap, but it was amazing for the kids. And I have to say, any member of parliament should not feel shy at all in supporting their PCYC, getting in there, going and seeing the kids. They feed kids that are hungry. They provide very, very healthy meals. And I can't say enough about this organisation. Thank you so much, the Honourable Dan Caddy, for bringing the motion.